Hello and welcome to this course on paid traffic. In this course, we're going to cover how to increase your sales by leveraging paid traffic methods. This course is divided into 3 modules. Module 1 covers running Facebook ad campaigns. Module 2 covers search advertising campaigns on Google. And Module 3 teaches you how to create and run banner ads. By the time this course is over, you'll know how to effectively funnel paid traffic to your business. So, without further ado, let's dive into the first module. Okay guys, welcome to Module 1. In this module, our expert will cover running Facebook ad campaigns. So, get ready to take some notes and let's jump right in.
All right, so when we first create our Facebook ad, we're going to be prompted to choose a marketing objective. Now, there's a whole bunch of objectives to choose from here. Facebook has made it really easy based on your campaign goals to pick one. Let's just go through a few of these. Brand awareness. This is more about getting your image, your identity out there to as many people as possible and making sure that they're aware, top of mind, that your brand exists. It's not particularly tangible results driven, okay? It's mostly to ensure that your name, your identity, is in the minds of people. Reach is very impression heavy, okay? It's all about showing the ad visually to as many people as possible, not necessarily about getting them to go somewhere and take a specific action. Now, these certainly have their place. They can be very useful if you're starting a company and you want to increase people's awareness of your brand. Most people are going to be doing Facebook ads in these 2 areas, though. Now, consideration includes, as an umbrella sort of, all of these different areas. Traffic, the basic meat and potatoes concept of sending people to a web property, if you will. Engagement has to do with getting people to actually like or comment or respond to your ad in some way, shape, or form, the actual post itself. App installs is self-explanatory. If you're doing an actual app, you want people to install it. Video views. Very self-explanatory here. However, it's important to point out, remember, these are just objectives. You're not necessarily choosing the type of ad. So you can have any of these ads be video ads, okay, but your goal is not necessarily to maximize video views in those. Whereas in this case, by choosing this one, you'd be telling Facebook that's your goal, is you want to go after as many people viewing your videos as possible. Lead generation, building your list, self-explanatory. Messages, really tapping into Facebook's Messenger ad abilities. Conversions is a very popular one. Okay, as you get a little bit more advanced, you're going to be installing tracking pixels on your web properties and actually optimizing your ads for conversions. Specifically, people taking the actions that you want them to take. Catalog sales is an interesting one, especially if you're in the e-commerce place. It'll automatically show items from your available collection of offerings to your potential customers. And then store traffic literally has to do with foot traffic, people actually coming to a physical brick and mortar location. Eventually, you're most likely going to be focusing on conversions. If you go down the path of Facebook ads. Let's start off, since we're just starting from scratch and we want to keep things relatively basic, let's just go with the meat and potatoes traffic objective. Now, the special ad category box that pops up right here, if you're doing anything related to credit, employment, or housing, there's special factors that need to be taken into consideration there. We're going to say no. In fact, we're going to say that we're doing a diabetes related product today, just for the sake of example. We're going to come down here. You can name your campaign. We'll just leave it as traffic. A/B split testing is a very cool, more recent feature. Back in the day, you used to have to run a whole bunch of different ads, ad groups and ad campaigns, and then you would have to do the math yourself, so to speak, comparing and contrasting the results of each of them. And now Facebook has built in A/B split testing abilities, which is very cool. And then campaign budget optimization is exactly what it sounds like. It's a little bit more of an advanced feature, which we're not going to touch right now. Let's head over to the next page. Now we can name our ad set here. We'll just leave it with the default naming convention here. There's a real science in terms of naming conventions when you're creating multiple ads or multiple ad sets within a campaign or multiple campaigns. Every company has their own sort of process for naming things so that it becomes more easy to analyze and manage their ads. For now, we'll just leave it with the default US 18 plus, which is based on the default demographic, which is United States and 18 plus. Dynamic creative is a very cool new concept. It has to do with actually personalizing ads for people who are seeing them based on who they are. Skipped one here, traffic. Of course, we're just going for website traffic. We're not looking to do any of the cooler advanced stuff with WhatsApp, Messenger, or sending people to a mobile app or something like that. Very cool stuff. We're going to stick with the bare bones, sending traffic to a website for now. Then we've got this one here. Another of the more newer features that Facebook has come out with, where you can actually create an offer that people can save and then get reminded about inside of their Facebook account later on. We'll leave that set to off as well. So now we're really getting into the core of the ad. We don't have any existing audiences, so we're going to create our own custom audience from scratch here. Location, self-explanatory. You can really get into the weeds and get all the way down to specific counties in the United States if you wanted to. You could create basically a certain mile radius around a specific pin on the map if you wanted to, if you really knew your audience that well. The demographic that we're going after with a diabetes product, however, just to stick with our example, it probably applies nationwide, so there's no reason to drill any deeper than that. Let's say that we had demographic information, though, about age. Let's say that based on our research, the people most likely to purchase a product in this category, people struggling with weight and diabetes and so on and so forth, are 30 plus. We would choose the age right here. Genders, if we wanted to focus one campaign on males and one campaign on females because of, let's say, the images that we'll be using in our ads or data that we saw that indicates that women are more likely to purchase this type of product, so on and so forth. All of this kind of depends on doing your audience research, doing your due diligence and all that before you start creating the ad. We'll go ahead and go with women just so we can see what the impact is on audience size. And then we'll move into detailed targeting. Now, this has to do with choosing specific interests, behaviors, demographics based on all the data that Facebook has curated on each of its users. It's kind of a scary amount of data, but it's very, very valuable to you as a marketer. You could browse based on broad topics regarding interests and demographics, education levels, data about parents, behaviors, purchasing behaviors, how much money people make, that kind of stuff. But in our case, let's go straight into looking for people who are interested in diabetes. There's a good chance if they've interacted with this type of content on Facebook before, they're going to be very interested in this topic. So let's go ahead and go with this, looks like type 2 awareness topic. All right, now we can see we've narrowed down based on our age, our location, our gender, and that one interest. We've narrowed it down to 5,400,000 potential people who could see our ad in the future. And we could theoretically drill down even further if we wanted to. In this case, let's go ahead and expand the audience. American Diabetes Association. That could add, there's probably some overlap there, so you won't see a big increase. Okay, but it did add a good chunk of people there. And then if you wanted to, beyond that, you could narrow the audience by using AND logic. So you could come over here and let's say dieting. Let's say that we wanted people who fit this category, so the 5,700,000 who have these two interests, but we also want them to be interested in gluten-free diets. So that narrowed it down to 1,800,000. So rather than just adding this up here, which would have used OR logic, meaning anybody who's interested in this, or this, or this, by narrowing, using the narrowing option, it's AND logic, which means it must also match this. So they have to be in this category and, or one of these two categories, and have this interest as well. So it's a great way to sort of narrow down your audience. We're not doing a gluten-free diet product. We're going to pretend for the sake of this example that we are selling, let's say, blood glucose monitors. Okay. And we're actually happy with this. This is actually a good, large, sizable, very well targeted chunk of the United States that we can show our ad to. Now, continuing on down here to placements, Facebook is pretty smart. It understands where people are most likely to click on ads and where your ads might perform really well. It gets more smart the more ads you've actually had and the more of an audience that you've interacted with your ads on Facebook. It slowly starts to learn and so on and so forth. For this one, since we're starting from scratch and we just want to show off the options here, let's go ahead and specify that we only want it to appear in people's Facebook news feeds, okay, as a native ad. So we're going to basically turn off everything here except for Facebook news feed. We'll turn off all the stories related stuff. We'll turn off the in-stream video ads, turn off the search result ads. Messages are already turned off. In-article ads turned off, and all the apps and sites options are turned off as well. And so now we literally just have the newsfeed ad as our only place where it's going to show up. And we can come on down here, and now let's talk about the different budget and scheduling options. So there's 4 different optimization options that are kind of broadly affect how Facebook shows your ads to how many people per day and that sort of things. We're going to go with landing page views. Okay, we want people who are more likely to click and actually wait for the website or the landing page, the lead page, whatever it is, to load and actually look at your page. Link clicks is really all about the clicks. It's not very much concerned with what happens, what the traffic does after it gets to your site. Daily unique reach is going to limit the amount of times that someone sees your ad to once per day. And then impressions just means show it to as many people as possible. Make it, technically a view in their newsfeed. Even if they didn't really stop and look at it too much, they just kind of scrolled through the newsfeed. You want to make sure that they see it as much as possible in their newsfeed. You would optimize for impressions. We're going to go with landing page views here. Cost control is a useful feature if you've really mapped out and done the math on your marketing campaign. Let's say you figured out your average order value for someone who comes through your funnel, and based on that you figured out how much you make per lead who becomes a customer, and you figured out what your conversion rates are, and that sort of gives you an idea of how much you can spend or afford to spend in order to make someone turn into a lead, and how much you can afford to spend per visitor to your site. And let's say that based on all that data, you know that you can only afford to spend $3 per person. You could put that number right here and ensure that Facebook does not charge more than that amount per landing page view. Budget and schedule here, there's a very important distinction to make, and that is that your daily budget doesn't literally mean that only $20 will be spent. Some days you might spend 30, some days you might spend 10. What it means is that over the course of the lifetime of the ad, the total amount spent during the lifetime of the ad will only equal an average of 20 per day when you average it out, okay? So the actual amount that you spend per day here might actually vary, and just be aware of that. And here it will actually tell you that per week it'll cap out at 140. So let's go ahead and click continue. Let's say we're happy with our targeting and the placement of our ad and all that good stuff. Let's hit continue. That'll actually bring us to the ad creative portion of this whole journey here. We're going to create an ad from scratch because it's our first time. And we've got 3 to choose from here because of the placement options that we chose. We chose newsfeed only, if you'll recall. And these are the 3 options that we've got, which include carousel, which is basically images or videos, multiple per ad that people can swipe or scroll through. We've got the collection one, which is a more advanced full screen mobile experience with a whole bunch of items that you can add to one ad. Then you've got the single image or single video, which is what we are going to be going with. And we can come over here to add media to choose that image. And the whole idea behind an image really is to stop the scroll. You're not really trying to put a whole bunch of information or text into the image. It's not like a newspaper ad or a banner ad in the strict sense or in the traditional sense. In fact, Facebook will actually penalize you for putting too much text into your ads. You really just want to use the ad image to get people to stop and notice the ad. Stop swiping while they're going through their news feed and so on and so forth. And then the copy, okay, the actual text of your post does the job of selling, okay, so not the image. Now we're going to go ahead and use the built-in stock photo search, which we're allowed to use here inside of Facebook ads, powered by Shutterstock. And let's go ahead and just type in diabetes and see if we can find something relevant. And look at that, we've got multiple relevant images. I'm pretty sure this one here is an image of a blood glucose monitor. And so let's go ahead and say that that's what that is and choose that image there. And it'll show us that it'll show us a preview of what it looks like both on desktop and mobile newsfeed right here. And now we're really getting into the actual selling. Okay, so the primary text of the ad, the actual ad copy. We've got the description, which is optional. Okay, a small amount of text which appears underneath the headline. So if we were to put that here, it basically acts in a certain way as a sub-headline underneath your main headline. Your headline here could be new glucose monitor, and then you'd put all of your sales copy about your product right here. Hopefully you'll figure out what your sales copy is before you even start creating the ad. I'm just going to paste some generic text about what to look for in a blood glucose monitor here, and we'll pretend that that's legitimate ad copy for now. And then of course you've got the actual URL. So let's say https glucose diabetes.com, which don't go there, that might actually be a real site, so not an endorsement of that product if it does exist. And now let's check out our finalized preview images here. So this is what it'll look like on the desktop news feed, which you've probably seen this type of thing 1,000 times. Looks like just a regular native post, but you've got the little sponsored thing there and the learn more buttons right here. And your call to action, by the way, can change if you want to change it to apply now or book now or watch or contact us or something along those lines. Sign up, subscribe, lots of options there. And we'll just leave it with the default learn more. And then you've got your tracking pixels that you want to associate this with. We're going to pretend that we're not using one yet, since we're starting out from scratch here, but ideally you would go into your Facebook ads manager and grab your tracking pixel and have that on all of your relevant pages so you can track basically the behavior and analyze what your traffic is doing once they click on this ad and go to your web properties. And that is pretty much it. Our ad is ready to go. So we've got the ad creative, the sales copy, we've got our placement selected, we've got the budgeting and all that good stuff, the targeting figured out. We're targeting a chunk of the U.S. population, focusing on females who have an interest in diabetes-related content and are, if I recall, it was age 30 plus. And we could hit confirm here, and our ad would go out there into people's news feeds and start bringing us some traffic. So that's it for Facebook ads. Let's move into the next module where we're going to be looking at search advertising.
Hi, Abram Kutsie here, and a warm welcome to my channel. I value your precious time, and my wish for you is that you have found something of real value in this video that will help you to close more leads and to scale your business beyond your dreams. If you have found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification. We will upload one module every week. I quickly want to introduce you to a brand new way to hack your social media profiles to generate unlimited free traffic for your business. It doesn't require any special skills, and it doesn't involve running complicated ads. In fact, what I'm about to show you is probably the easiest, fastest, and most beginner-friendly way to grow your business with social media today. And I'm willing to bet you didn't even know it existed. The hidden traffic on Facebook. Have you ever been scrolling around on Facebook when a post, like, or comment catches your eye, and then for whatever reason you decide to click to view that person's profile page? If you've done that before, you're not alone. I do this all the time. I'll see a post or comment or like that catches my eye, and I can't help but click to their profile page to see who that person is and what they're about. Let's be honest, we all nosy on social media. Have you ever wondered how often this is happening to you? How many people are clicking to view your profile daily? Let's do an experiment where we treat your Facebook profile like a landing page. We'll add buttons, links, and call to actions to your products and services in all the right places. and watch the magic happen. It will shock you how quickly you get results. You'll immediately tap into a consistent stream of free leads for your business just by making a few simple tweaks to your Facebook profile. And if your profile isn't set up and optimized to capture those potential customers, you're missing out big time. In this blueprint, I'm going to show you how to completely transform your Facebook profile into a lead machine that brings you new customers 24/7. The link will be in the description below this video. I hope I will see you on the other side. Take care, take action, goodbye.